Hello, basketball fans. It's me, DC, and I'm here to help you get ready for week 21 of the NBA season by breaking down the waiver wire. Week 21, we've made it. It's the final week of the regular season. It means the waiver wire's got some pretty slim pickings, actually, unfortunately, because teams have been picked over. And some guys, they're still out there based on percentages because a lot of people have been eliminated from their leagues and they aren't as active. So I have to be even more stingy because if it says they're available in 50% of leagues, you only need one or two teams in the championship to own that player, and then it doesn't matter that they're 90% available if they're not in your league. So guys like Kem Birch or whoever has been hot might not really be out there, even though they say they're mostly available because the teams that are active and paying attention have probably been using them the last couple of weeks. But we're going to see what we can find, try and get you some wins. There might not be full week-long guys that are going to lock in and get you the win, but you've made it to the championship with good moves, so we're just looking for little edges to get you over the hump. Let's talk about some guys. So first off, let's start by looking at the obvious teams, right? We've got 4 teams that have 5-game weeks. So in weekly lock leagues, that's somewhere you really want to attack. And for streaming, maybe. So let's work our way through those first, and we'll eliminate them. And then I've got some other names that I'm maybe a little more excited about. I'll always do the timestamps. You can skip ahead if this doesn't interest you, but we should talk about what is and isn't there for the big 5-game weeks, right? So Indiana, I think they have some interesting options. The streaming isn't great. They play Cleveland at the start of the week, which you can get them in there. It's a low volume day, but then they don't again until Saturday against the Lakers. So you don't even love that matchup. Overall, they have to play Philly, Milwaukee, Toronto in there. It's a fine week. They get 5 games. Oshae Brissett, 45% roster. He's still available. He's maybe cooling off a little bit, but it's worth a run. He's still getting over 20 minutes a game. You get 5 games out of him. I think there's value in that. Is he going to be my top ad right now? No, not based on performance. If you're in a daily change leagues, I think it's fine, but I'm going to wait till later on the list for that. So while Oshae will get you points and rebounds, if you want to go deeper, Edmond Sumner is available in 95% of leagues. He's not going to get you everything. He'll get you all right points. We're talking 10, 13. He doesn't have a really good field goal percentage. So maybe at the end of the week, when Indiana's got that Lakers-Toronto back-to-back, he could be worth a pickup if you're just trying to solidify it, or if you're in a roto league looking at the end. 10 points at 62% shooting isn't going to really move the needle, but he's not going to hurt you either if you're just trying to get, maybe he'll get lucky and get 2 steals, and his good percentage won't kill you in a roto league. Maybe that gets you over the hump at the end. And if I'm just trying to get blocks, I'd give Goga Bitadze a look. He's rostered in 2%, so 98% available. His last 3 games, 3 blocks, 1 block, 2 blocks. I mean, he's not shooting great. He's shooting 42% in your center position, and he's only getting 1 to 2 rebounds. So, that's not fair. He got 1 to 2 the last couple games. He had 6 before that. But he's not going to get you a double-double, right? He might not get double-digit points even. But if you're just trying to pick someone up for blocks, could be useful. Start the week here against Cleveland or end the week of the back-to-backs. I'd go for Goga for blocks. Sumner's not going to get a ton of steals, but he'll do it with good field goal percentage. That's the look at Indiana. There's not a lot there. Next up is Memphis with 5 games. They don't have a great streaming week. You could start against the Pelicans. They also don't have a great ton of depth that you can add, unfortunately, off the waiver wire. A lot of the teams are rostered. Would I love to say D'Anthony Melton? Yes, but we've talked about it throughout the year. His minutes are screwy. So if he's available and you're looking to just get some minutes, maybe you could try it against Pelicans. I love Memphis's week, right? Pelicans, Dallas, they play Sacramento twice and Golden State. I like the opponents. And so I want to say roll the dice on Desmond Bane, 5% rostered, but you get 5 games. Only one of them is great for streaming. Melton's rostered in 14%. Those are the guys I'd look at. I don't feel confident, but if you've got some waiver moves and you're just trying to put it up, I think it's an okay option. It's unfortunate with a 5-game week. There's just not a lot to pick up there. Milwaukee's the next team with 5 games, and unfortunately it's a similar situation. All the big name players are already owned. They've been all season long. Obviously Giannis and Chris Middleton, everyone. But Brook Lopez, there's not a ton available. So it makes you look pretty low down the list. So I mentioned last week, Bryn Forbes is 4% rostered. If I'm looking for threes, that's worth a roll of the dice. Milwaukee doesn't have... Again, they've got 5 games, which is great. So weekly lock leagues, I don't love any of these options, honestly. But if I'm trying to pick up some threes, Bryn Forbes, okay option. They get to play the Spurs at the start, and they end the week with Chicago when everyone's playing, and I don't think you get them in the lineup. So if you're desperate, if someone's hurt, you find out last minute someone's resting a game, I would give him a look if I'm just trying to get threes. And then Pat Connaughton's only rostered in 6% of leagues. So if I want rebounds, I might look at Connaughton, Bryn Forbes for threes. None of this is really going to help you with points leagues. I think you just got to wait a little bit later, skip ahead in the video when I talk about some general ideas. But if you're really trying to plug people in, these guys got a lot of games. Next up, San Antonio. So San Antonio is the best team for attacking both streaming and just total games, right? They've got 5 games played. They play 3 of them in the first 4 nights. And then out of the first 4, like even the Phoenix game on Saturday is not a streamable day. So they've got 4 streamable games. So I really wanted to attack it. Let's bring up the minutes and take a look at what's out there. So taking a look at this, DeMar DeRozan, 97% roster. DeJounte Murray, 94%. Jakob Poeltl, 90% or 70%. I can't read my handwriting. Either way, none of those guys can even count. So, but I skipped over some names there, right? Lonnie Walker's playing all right, and he's only 18% rostered. There's nothing jumping off the page at me, but the fact that you could probably get him in for all 4 of those games, maybe not against the Knicks, and Knicks isn't a great matchup, but Milwaukee, Brooklyn, Phoenix games, you're probably going to be able to get him in there. There's a good chance you'll get a rotation out of him. So Keldon Johnson's 44% rostered and is doing a bit less. Lonnie Walker, he's got the second most minutes on the team right now. He's available in 82% of leagues, and he's about to have a 5-game week. I would give Lonnie Walker serious consideration and just hope that, he doesn't wow you in a particular category that at the end of the week, you got so much run out of him that it's going to be a lot of value to put you over. All you need is like one good game where he happens to get you 3 steals or something, and you're like, oh, hey, I'm going to try and win that category. And in points leagues, this is a lot of volume. Those points will add up. Even if his average is lesser, multiply it by 5, and there's a good chance it's more valuable than some of the other options. If we're looking at the schedule grid, Portland's got a pretty good week. They've got the same situation as San Antonio, who we just talked about. 3 games in the first 4 nights. Unfortunately, there's no one really to pick up there. If we look at the minutes here, Powell, McCollum, Lillard, Covington, Nurkic, they're all owned. So check your waiver wire. It's worth it. In a league I'm in, a competitive league, I was able to pick up Nurk 2 or 3 weeks ago. Someone had to cut him when he was out, so he happened to be available, despite the fact that he's rostered in 94% of leagues. So take a look. Make sure they're not out there. But I don't have anyone I can really recommend. I have to go all the way down to Anthony Simons before someone's really available. Carmelo, who just missed a game, is 45% rostered. He's not bringing you a ton. Maybe you could play him. He's not going to play on back-to-backs, so maybe you don't even get all 3 of those games. There's not really anything in Portland. I just wanted to mention I'm not skipping over that strategy. I've tried to dig down with a good move, and there's not much. Maybe Derrick Jones comes back, and you can pick up and plug Derrick Jones Jr. in for a day. Right now, he's not playing, so you just got to skip over that. All right, moving off of that, we've talked about the teams with 5 games where we're trying to just stack up minutes. I think the more exciting moves are some of the players that have just been hot lately. So KJ Martin Jr. for the Rockets. The Rockets have been shorthanded, and KJ Martin's, he's rostered in 33% of leagues, I should say. So he's available in more, 70%. You can go grab him. And boys, he had a couple good games, right? He just had a 27-10 game with 2 steals. He hit 4 threes there. The game before that, he had 6 threes for 26, 7, and 7. That is really tempting. Do I think it'll keep up? No, maybe not. But over those big flashy box scores of the last 2 games, and they're against Utah and Milwaukee. They weren't necessarily walk in the park matchups. Over the last 5 games, so going back, even playing against Philly, New York, Golden State, he hasn't played less than 32 minutes. Some of the last games where he's been exploding, he's been playing 39 or 44 minutes. He's a hot pickup. He's worth playing. If you're in a daily change league, those first 2 games of the week, he gets to play on good streaming days. You're excited about the Portland matchup. We see what happens against the Lakers. If you can get him in there when there's only 6 games, there's a big advantage. I like KJ Martin. I would go pick him up right now in your daily change league. Get him in there. If it doesn't work, we're going to flip him for someone else later in the week if you got those moves. Okay, sticking with the trend of guys with a good start to the week, let's talk about Cedi Osman. Cleveland starts with Indiana and Boston. Same idea. They play those first 2 streaming days, and he's been playing well. Last game, he had 22, 5, and 7 with 2 threes. The game before that, 14, 2, 2, 1 with 2 threes. Game before that, 4 threes. So you're going to get 3-pointers out of him. You're going to get to use him on those 2 days. You're not afraid of the Indiana and Boston matchups. They're fine. You're not salivating to attack it, but that's great. You're going to pick up some threes. double-digit points. He's going to shoot you like 42, 45% from the floor. If you're just trying to get points, he's on the streaming days and point leagues. I think it's easy. You pick him up. You play him in his first 2 games of the week. If you still have him, they play Washington and Brooklyn later in the week. That Washington game, you could probably get him in there. So I like the matchups at the end of the week. You might not get him in the rotation, but I don't think he's going to hurt you. He's going to get you, he'll hit some free throws if he goes to the line. I think it's an interesting look, and he's available. Did I say it? He's only rostered in 31% of leagues, so he's available in 70% as well. If you're feeling desperate or risky while I'm talking about Cleveland, I should mention Isaac Okoro. He's probably more of my honorable mentions at the end of the video, but I'm talking about Cleveland right now, so let's get into it. He's rostered in 15% of leagues, so 85% chance he's available. He'll get you some points, nothing crazy. We're talking, I should go back. 3 games ago, we got 32 points, so that was a surprise. And he had 3 rebounds, 6 assists. But I think the more recent games are probably more indicative. His last game was 15, 5, and 1 with 2 threes, but he shot 54%. It's young. This is going to be like a fortune favors the bold situation when I mentioned Malachi Flynn weeks ago, right before he popped off. That was great. Okoro could do that, but if you're in the championship, do you feel comfortable? I wouldn't recommend this for a weekly lock league. But if you don't have someone else and you pick him up and play him for the 2 games and move on, I don't think he's going to hurt you. Maybe he has a bad field goal percentage, but he'll get you some chances, and they're good matchups to start. I would give Okoro consideration if some of the other options aren't there. I like Osman and I like KJ more. Staying on this theme of starting the week strong, let's go to the New Orleans Pelicans. If you want a big man, I think you got 2 options there. We talked about Willy Hernangómez last week. 9% rostered. He's got 2 good streaming days, but also Jaxson Hayes has been playing well. He's only 13% rostered. So we're talking guys that are roughly available in 90% of leagues. Jaxson Hayes' last game, 19 points, 8 rebounds, 3 assists, a steal, and 3 blocks. He went off, and it was against Philly, and he did it all in 24 minutes. Now, Jaxson Hayes has up and down games. Game before that, we did 8 and 9 with a steal and a block, 24 minutes. Same type of thing as against Golden State, which I would have thought would be a better matchup for him than against Philly, but it wasn't. So I can't really predict what we're going to get. But he gets to start against Memphis and Dallas, and then later he plays Golden State if you can work him in there. So if you want a big, I like him or Hernangómez. Give either one a look if you want a big. They start the week strong. Maybe you'll use them later, but you're just trying to get some blocks, some good points, some rebounds. This is where we're trying to get our edge, right? And I've talked about a bunch of guys just now where they've got the 2 good streaming days to start the week. If you're going to do that and then you got to pivot to the end of the week, look at any of those teams that have the games on Saturday. They automatically have a back-to-back because every single team plays on Sunday. We don't know right now who's going to be resting because the playoff position's set or ankles are turned or trying to get in or out of the play-in, God knows what. So I can't really logically give you an answer of this is what's going to happen like we can do with normal back-to-back rest games. But target those back-to-backs. Hopefully pick someone up. So Jared Vanderbilt might be a great option here at the end of the week. Minnesota doesn't have a good week for streaming because the days they played Detroit and Denver at the start of the week aren't great. But if you're trying to get some steals, Jared Vanderbilt just got in because Jaden McDaniels was gone out for personal reasons or illness. I don't have it in front of me to remember. But he played 36 minutes. He got 8 points, 11 rebounds, 5 steals, and 2 blocks. Would I trust Vanderbilt all week? No, probably not. And he's not great for streaming. But if you're trying to target steals and it's someone you can play at small forward, power forward, or center, at least on Yahoo, that's pretty great. Now he's not going to get you 5 steals. That was also a freak game. He got them all in the first half. Somehow it was against Miami. It's not even a matchup you think's favorable. But going backwards through his steal log, he had 2, 1, 0, 3, 1. So he'll get you some steals. You can play him at center. He'll also get you some blocks. If I'm trying to get just defensive stats, especially at the end of the week, I would make a note of Jared Vanderbilt. He's only rostered in 9% of leagues, so 91% available, and he's got the back-to-back to end the week. You might be able to get him in there and steal a category or just get some points when they convert into a point league. I already mentioned Okoro at the top when I was talking about Cleveland. He's probably more of an honorable mention for me. I've got 2 more honorable mentions. They're for the Magic, and it's really, their schedule is just not great, right? They get 4 games, that's fine. They don't play on any of the good streaming days. If you take a look, Milwaukee, Atlanta, Philly, don't love those matchups, but Dwayne Bacon's been playing real well. So if I'm looking for some points, there's a chance he could get you 20 points I don't know how you'd work him into the end of the week, but Orlando's playing these interesting rotations. If someone's out, Dwayne Bacon's rostered in 7% of leagues. So again, widely available. I'm talking about guys that are out there for 90% of leagues, because you might just be picking him up to do spot starts, trying to get some extra points in head-to-head. Or, I mean, points always translate to just a points league. You get some pretty good field goal percentage, so he's not going to hurt you there. Some rebounds. But I think he'd be valuable in a points league. You just plug him in for a day. Dwayne Bacon, give it a look. If you want to go deeper, if you trust in the rookie, this is more in the vein of talking about Okoro. RJ Hampton's been playing well. He's rostered in 37% of leagues, so still available in most leagues. But with RJ, you really got to decide. He's playing well, but he's not playing on great streaming days. In weekly lock leagues, wouldn't you probably prefer a 5-game week of Lonnie Walker or something? Maybe. Like, that's something to look at. It was 4 games of RJ who's been playing well. You know, he had 16-5-3. Okay. He had 18-10-5. You like that. He had 16-7-10. You like that. The good games were against Detroit, Boston, Charlotte, which you feel good about. He's going to play Minnesota tonight, so he might get up. But Orlando doesn't have a great week, so maybe they're not as good. That's why they're in the honorable mention. But if you're looking for something, or someone's ruled out last minute, I would look at Orlando, because they're still playing their guys, and there's a lot of people available on the waiver if you're kind of in a panic later in the week when someone got ruled out last minute. Beyond that, thank you for watching all season. If you guys have ideas, want me to keep talking at you through this video in the offseason, I would love to. Leave comments down below on what I can keep doing. If not, good luck in your matchup. Good luck in life. I will still be here and see you next season if I don't keep making videos now. But go out and win your week. Thank you so much for watching. If you've made it this far, please hit the like button and leave a comment down below. It helps me grow the channel. If you want more videos like this, hit subscribe or even the little bell will give you alerts. And I'll be back soon with another video for you. Hello, basketball fans. It's me, DC, and I'm here to help you